Welcome back to Castle Crush, everybody. As you can see, we've played a few games since last time we left off. We've done a few other things here. We actually bought a Skull King in our store, and then we got a Skull King out of a free chest. So if we take a look at our cards down here, we now have the level 10, so the 10 mana costing card, the Skull King. It's at level 1 right now. If we get one more gold, we could upgrade it to level 2, which is going to be one of the goals right now. This is the deck that I'm working on that I think could work pretty well with the cards that we have with the demons, the Skull Kings, probably our triplets, which are actually quite strong at level 6. And if we can level up those arrows one more time, we'll be even stronger. So this deck will be sort of a fortify / control deck. The idea being to control the board by destroying most of your creatures, meanwhile increasing our castle's health with fortify, and then ultimately using things like the triplets and the Skull King to run you over at the end. Okay, so the deck that we have been playing with is this one right here, which is, to my amazement in some ways, it's still doing stunningly well. So I want to show you in this video a couple of replays, the last couple of matches I played. And this time I'm going to walk through a little bit of what I'm thinking, doing it here in the replay. So here's a game against a Castle 4 opponent. Our usual strategies: get some cards out. Remember, our goal is to try to grab a hold of all of the lanes. So we've got skeletons going. Now our opponent right there misplayed. They misplayed their statue. I think they wanted to play the statue in front of our skeletons and then let the archers shoot our skeletons from behind the statue, which would have been good, but our opponent missed it. And so this works out really well for us because now both our warrior and our skeletons are in front of the statue. And I immediately played a jester to deal with this statue. Jesters are great at dealing with statues because they move them along the way. Now our opponent has played a metamorph, and we'll see what they get. Okay, just so everybody's clear, how the metamorph works is it will randomly choose one of the things or creatures out on the board. So in this case, that metamorph could have been a warrior, it could have been a skeleton, it could have been a jester, or it could have been a statue. Thank you. But the odds were that it would be a skeleton because there's 3 skeletons out there: one statue, one warrior, one jester. So it's a 50% chance it would have gotten a skeleton, 50% chance of something else. In this case, it did metamorph into the jester. So that's what we have to deal with there, which is unfortunate because it's going to kill our skeletons. And our opponent plays another metamorph, this time getting the statue. And fortunately for us, we play a pirate back behind. Pirates, as you can see, does lots of damage to the jester, deals with the jester very well. And in the meantime, I wanted to put a warrior in the middle lane to get a little control of the middle lane. Especially since it's going to take a while before we can do damage in this bottom lane with all of these statues in our way. Okay, same thing with the orc. Played that up there. Our opponent kind of made a mistake here. Playing the as you just saw, playing the Reaper. Thank you. Playing the Reaper, and it just got instantly shot by our pirate and did no damage to us. So we're in pretty good shape here. Now, of course, in the game, I don't know what my opponent's cards are. We can see that our opponent has a golem and an orc warrior. We don't know this, what they're holding in the game, but I do know that I have more cards than them, and I also know that I have 2 demons that are ready to come to the defense whenever I need them. And so here I threw out quickly the skeletons because they were low cost. My opponent played a golem. I thought for a second, then I decided, you know what, I am just going to go ahead and zap that with my demon. Then our opponent played an orc warrior up top. We came back with the demon to get rid of that orc warrior so we could keep the pressure on. And the mage does not do that well against the demon when it's up close, and we took the demon out. And that was pretty much the game. There wasn't a whole lot else our opponent could do. Okay, so that's the basic strategy that we've been using in playing this deck. Let me show you one more game, and then we'll play one live game, and that'll be it for this video. So here's another game we played and we won it. You can see our deck, our opponent's running. A couple of Druids, a Pirate, Demon, Orc Warrior, a couple of Executioners. A lot of high mana cards with 2 Executioners, a Black Knight, and a Skull King. They also have the Spectre, which I don't really think makes a lot of sense in this deck. I mean, it's a fine card to play if you get your Skull King out, but otherwise you're just sitting there holding a card that isn't going to be very powerful. And we'll see at some point our opponent actually plays the Spectre in the game, and it's quite a weak specter, and we have no problem dealing with it. So again, we got skeletons to begin with, so we started getting them out. Next, we're going to fire out a warrior because we want to grab control of the lanes. We want to get space on the board so that we can start our creatures farther down towards our opponent's castle. Our opponent plays a druid. The pirate does okay against the druid if it has time. And in this case, I backed it up with the archers because I wanted to make sure I took it out, and fortunately I did just take it out. I also played a Jester in the top lane just to grab some control of the top lane, which was good because then I could play the Orc Warrior in the top lane after the Inferno. Here I'm intentionally letting their Druid walk down. I know I've got a Demon in my back pocket to kill that Druid whenever I want. So for right now, I'm just getting some other creatures out to put a little pressure on my opponent to make them make some decisions, because I know I can get rid of that Druid whenever I want a little later on. My opponent plays a Demon, deciding to kill our card in the top lane. I decide now is the right time to go ahead and get rid of the Druid. And I've got an Orc Warrior ready to face off against that Demon on top, which would be a close match if I just let him go. But I back that up with a Warrior so that both of mine can survive. Okay, and so there it is. Our opponent played the Spectre, as I said, but there was only one other creature out on the board, so there was just a +1 Spectre, which is not very impressive for 6 mana. So we're going to have no trouble taking it out. And now, okay, we're in a position where our opponent has more cards than us, but we do have an Inferno. So I'm not going to play the Jester. I'm going to sit here and hold my Inferno because we've got every lane. We have control of every lane, and we're going to be doing damage in every single lane. So basically, I'm going to sit here on this Inferno and say, let's see what my opponent plays. And if they play something that I need to Inferno, I'm going to Inferno that instantly and then do damage. So let's see what our opponent plays. Our opponent decides to play the Executioner. Now in this case, I drew a Demon in the meantime, so I didn't have to play my Inferno. Otherwise, I would have. So I played the Demon because we want to get rid of those Executioners badly. We do. Our opponent plays an Orc Warrior. I threw out some extra damage. Our opponent's trying to heal up, but at this point, there's not a lot they can do. I've got 2 Infernos sitting in my back pocket, ready to go if my opponent played anything, but they didn't. So we finished them off with another flawless victory. Okay, so that was a couple of wins that I thought I played. I thought I played pretty well, and I thought it sort of demonstrated the strategy of the deck. And so now I'm going to try to go for one more. We've got 6 to get to our victory chest, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'm just going to play one more, and we'll call that. Let me make sure I am running the same deck. Yes. Okay. So I am running this deck. I do want to try to run the Skull King kind of control deck as well as sort of an experimental thing. Okay. Here we go. Okay, we'll say hello to our opponent here. And we've got skeletons. We've got a warrior. Let's see what our opponent's going to do. We don't have any demons in our hand yet. That's okay. Couldn't play them right now anyway. All right. We're going to keep grabbing control of lanes. Next, I would like to play our Orc Warrior. Let's see if our opponent's going to do anything. Okay, lots of arrows. Okay, and very strong arrows, because that's something to note, that those arrows took out our, they did take out our warriors, which means those arrows are quite strong. And our opponent has also played Fortify, which means it's not great. This isn't great news, because that means they have a deck that does seem to want to try to grab control of things and slowly grind you away. Kind of thinking, should I wait? Okay, yes. Good. I'm glad I waited there, because I would really just like to get rid of that. There we go. Let's go here. Alright. Opponent wants to play Inferno. That card's going to be annoying until we get something. Okay, we got to keep some pressure going up here. Let's see. We've got to figure out how we're going to deal with... Oh, no. Okay, we got an Inferno here. Oh no, that stayed alive. Man, how weak is my Inferno that I couldn't even kill that mage? Okay, there's a Black Knight. This is not good. So this is the kind of deck I was a little worried that our opponent was going to play. Oh man, 2 Black Knights. All right, we better go for it. Go for the kill in the middle lane here. Come on, I need some demons. Did not get a demon. Okay. Well, we're going to have to just hold off the Black Knight for now. Yeah, I mean, our opponent's deck is It has enough like low creature destruction. Man, we need a demon. When are we going to get a demon? We need a demon. Okay, well, that's going to be it. We're going to lose this one. But that's okay. I mean, you know, you see the idea there of our opponent's deck. Our opponent's deck is basically designed with fortify, arrows. Wow, they actually, it seemed to me like they got a lot of their creature destruction cards. So I didn't feel like, I felt like they had more, right? They also play Whirlwind, Fortify, Arrows, and Inferno, just basically to slow your opponent down. And this is an effective strategy that people can use. I've seen people use this where you try to slow your opponent down, and then eventually, in this case, our opponent plays out a Black Knight, and we're not able to beat that Black Knight. Okay, so that's going to be it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like the video, subscribe, and if you want to see something else, let me know in the comments. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.